Put your hands where I can see them. That's what I heard in my own driveway on a Saturday that smelled like cut grass and warm oil toolbox. In my hand garage. Light on my to-do list, zero interest in drama. I look up and there they are. 3 men in black vests I've never seen before. Patches that say, community enforcement faces. That say, we practice this in a mirror, and behind them, arms folded like she owns the cul-de-sac, our HOA president, Beatrice Lang. My name's Marcus Hale. I live in Riverbend, Georgia. I pay my dues and wave at kids on bikes. And yeah, people have underestimated me more times than I can count. I set the toolbox down and take them in like I'm checking the weather. Boots too clean, holsters. It's all mismatched. The tall guy's rifle grip has that little seam line you only see on cheap polymer. You know what I mean. I didn't need 5 seconds to know they weren't cops, but I took them anyway. That's him, Beatrice says, pointing, like she just cornered a raccoon in her pantry. He's been warned, detain him. The bearded one clears his throat, trying on authority like a new jacket. Sir, we've had reports of unauthorized activity on this property. This property is mine. I say not loud, not soft. Just steady. Do you want to see the deed or skip straight to telling me what department you're from? Across the street, phones start coming up. Riverbend is quiet, but people know when to record. Beatrice steps closer. Chin up, you were making repairs without approval. These men are here to enforce the rules. I tilt my head and let the words find their weight. They're not law enforcement, and they don't belong here. Don't talk back, she snaps, jabbing the air like she can poke a hole in my confidence. You think you can ignore me, ignore this community? Not anymore. The 3 men shift on their feet. Doesn't matter what costume you wear, your feet tell the truth. I breathe shoulders square on their own. The training lives in your bones, and I drop my voice just enough to make them lean in. Who sent you? And skip the part where you pretend you have jurisdiction here. The bearded one glances at Beatrice like a kid checking his mother in church. Ma'am, maybe we should do your job, she barks. My neighbor Jenna Park is across the way. Phone up, eyes sharp. I don't know yet that she used to work at the courthouse, but I can tell she's the kind who keeps a steady hand. Sir, you need to come with us, the tall one says, voice wobbling. I take 1 step forward, they take 1 step back, and I can't help it. A corner of my mouth lifts. Read me my rights, I say. Silence. You don't need to. The bearded man tries, and I cut it off with a single word that hits like a ruler on a desk. Wrong. Enough. Beatrice snaps, cuff him. Cuffs, I nod. Let's see them. He pulls out a pair so shiny and flimsy, they might as well come with a Halloween costume, and the crowd does that little murmur people do when a secret trips over a curb. Those wouldn't hold a teenager. I say you're a joke. Jenna speaks up clean and bright. They're not police. I worked at the courthouse. I've seen the real thing. Phones lift higher, lenses zoom, and I give her a small nod, because evidence matters. You've got 3 choices. I tell the 3 one. Tell the truth, too. Try something stupid, and spend the afternoon kissing asphalt 3. Walk away now and explain to her why you played dress-up on a Saturday. Look, man, the tall one starts. We were told. Told what? That a black homeowner fixing a light in his own driveway is a threat. Beatrice snaps. Don't bring race into this. This is about rules. Rules. I say, looking right at her, don't come with toy guns and fake badges. You just put kids and parents one shaky decision away from disaster. People start connecting dots out loud. Yeah, that happened. and the bearded man's shoulders sag. "This isn't worth it," he mutters. "You've been a problem since you moved in." Beatrice spits. "I run this neighborhood." "You don't run anything," I tell her, and I let the pause get heavy. "Do you even know who I am? It stops everyone, even the fakes. I served for 18 years, multiple deployments, special operations. I know what danger looks like, and it isn't me holding a wrench. But if you keep pushing this lie, you're going to find out what happens when it runs into the truth." Then I decide we're done pretending, and I cross-examine the costumes. "You first. Which department trained you?" "We don't have to answer that." "Wrong again. Badge number, call sign." "Nothing." "Your jurisdiction?" "County, state, federal." "Community enforcement?" The tall one mumbles. I laugh. "Not mean, just honest. You might as well say Space Rangers." The youngest has been quiet, eyes wide, breathing shallow. "What about you, kid academy hours? Or did you buy that vest off the internet?" "I was just told to be here," he whispers. "There it is," I say, and open my hands to the street like I'm presenting a lesson. "We were hired." The bearded man tries to puff up and I finish the sentence for him. "To impersonate police felony. And when the real deputies show up, they'll put you face down so fast your pride won't keep up. Don't let him scare you." Beatrice yells. "He's dangerous." "Dangerous is what you did." I tell her you brought pretend authority onto a block full of families. I don't have to raise my voice. Your own choices are doing the work for me. "Weapons on the ground." I say hands where everyone can see them. Nobody twitches until the sheriff arrives. The youngest drops his replica. The tall one follows, the bearded one curses and lets his go. The hollow clatter is louder than it should be, because it's the sound of an illusion shattering. Sirens start as a far-off rumor and roll into red and blue. Two cruisers glide in. Deputies Morales and Finch step out with that calm you can't buy. "What's going on?" Morales asks. "Officers, thank God." Beatrice jumps in. He refused to comply with community enforcement, he threatened. "Deputy, I say my name is Marcus Hale. This is my home. These men tried to arrest me on her." "Say so, they're impersonators." Finch lifts one of the dropped rifles. Thumbs the plastic checks, a wallet badge that looks like it was printed in a basement, and sighs. "This is a joke. Where did you even get this?" "HOA can send a letter." Morales tells Beatrice it can't send fake cops. Hiring people to impersonate law enforcement is a serious crime. Jenna raises her phone a little higher. "I got the whole thing," and Morales looks back at me. "Did you keep this from getting physical?" I nod. "Yes." They postured. I stayed calm. "Good work," he says. "Good work," Beatrice repeats, like it tastes bitter. He's the problem. He thinks he's above the rules. If I were dangerous, I tell her we wouldn't be talking right now. I recognized what they were the second I saw them. I've seen worse in places you couldn't imagine, and instead of escalating, I kept everyone safe, including you. Real handcuffs click on fake authority. The sound changes the air. The crowd knows real when they hear it. Morales turns to Beatrice. "You're coming for questioning." And she sputters about being the president like the title is a force field. "Not anymore," Mr. Doyle says from the curb, and the street exhales. The days after feel heavy, like the humidity. Got feelings. Deputies come by. Paperwork gets filed. 2 of the 3 men cooperate and admit Beatrice promised them cash to play community police. The bearded one tries to tough it out. But plastic is plastic, it breaks. Jenna prints her screenshots and hands them to the sheriff like a juror who already knows the verdict. Neighbors who never spoke cross lawns and share stories. "She fined us for a Halloween banner," Anita says. While her friend kept a boat in the driveway for 2 months. She told my grandson he couldn't ride in the cul-de-sac because of safety. Mr. Doyle adds, the HOA board calls an emergency meeting, usually 5 people in a bowl of mints. This time, the room overflows. Folks line the walls one by one. They stand and say things they swallowed for years. By the end, they remove Beatrice as president. No fist pumps, no confetti. Just the sound of a neighborhood finally exhaling. I mow the lawn. Fix the garage light. That started all this wave, the way I always have. And I replay the what-ifs in my head, how fast things can break when fake authority meets real fear, how a toy in the wrong hand can make a real cop. Turn a corner and misread a moment, how the only thing you really get to control is yourself. You breathe, you lower your voice, you choose words that make the room lean toward calm. That's the whole game. Beatrice shows up a week later with a deputy standing back on the walkway. She looks smaller, like someone opened a valve. I came to apologize, she says to the railing. I thought authority meant control. I thought control meant order. I believed the worst about you because it made my job easier. I don't invite her in. I don't slam the door either. You didn't see me for who I was, and you put people in danger. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. Choices have weight. She nods, eyes wet, and leaves. Some of you will say, I should have forgiven her on the spot. Some will say, I should have pushed for the harshest charges. Some will say this was never about race, just rules gone too far. And some will say, race sat on the whole thing from the jump. You know what I mean? Here's what I know. I stood tall, stayed calm, and let the truth do the heavy lifting. I didn't hand my power to anyone who hadn't earned it. I didn't shout. I didn't swing. I chose restraint, because restraint protects people. If you're still here, tell me where you're watching from. Tell me where the line is between enforcing standards and abusing power. Should Beatrice face charges, or is the public fall enough? Have you seen an HOA do right, or seen it weaponized? Do you think race colored this, or was it pure control? Drop your take in the comments. Share a story, if you've got one, and if you've ever been underestimated, bullied, misjudged. Consider this your nudge. Stand tall. Stay calm. Let the truth speak louder than the costume.